So, you've beaten Resident Evil 9, and you want to try it again. Only this time, you feel it should be a bit spicier. So you click on that new shiny insanity difficulty, but what the heck? Everything's just one-shotting you and you have no idea how to cope. Well, that's where this video comes in, baby. Welcome to my insanity mode guide for Grace's half of the game. First things first, I'm Eriku, your local horror game obsessed Demon Fox VTuber. This guide is set up to help you learn the ins and outs of insanity, including tips and tricks to make insanity mode just a bit easier for you. Worth saying, I'm assuming you're not using infinite ammo, since that kinda trivializes the whole thing. No shame if you do that, and these tricks can still help you. You do you, obviously. But I beat the whole game without using any bonus unlockables at all. So this guide is more to help folks who want that sort of challenge. Because while insanity is balanced around having unlockables, it's still more than feasible without them, and is so satisfying when you win that way. Also, as a note, I'm going to assume you know the basics of the game and the sort of progression it takes, which should be a safe assumption since you have to beat the game to play Insanity at all. And I'm not going to be overly specific, like telling you how to manage your inventory or anything. You're a grown-up, I hope. You got this. So, with that said, we'll be jumping around to specific problem points in order. I'll do my best to bookmark each part, so check the video timeline if you need help with something specific. And yell at me in the comments if I missed something. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, firstly, the biggest thing to get used to on Insanity is that enemies are way harder to stun. They also lunge further and do way more damage. You can sometimes stun them if you shoot them in the legs, but even this can take 6, 7, sometimes even more bullets to do so. Another notable difference is a lot of the enemies drop antique coins now. I suppose it's to reward you for going out of your way for kills as Grace. There's still only 4 cabinets to open though, and they don't have stat boosters anymore. But they can still be super helpful, so make sure to open them if you can. Speaking of stat boosters, you have the ability to get 4 of them throughout Insanity mode. In my opinion, you should go for steroids instead of stabilizers. Especially if it's your first time. The majority of enemies will one-shot you on this difficulty. And steroids will pump up your max HP to prevent being one-shotted. 1 steroid keeps you safe from regular zombies. 2 keep you safe from the tougher, heavier zombies. 3 keeps you safe from the girl. And 4 keeps the lickers at the end of the game from one-shotting you. While stabilizers are just kind of bad. To be more specific, stabilizers only increase your gun damage, and only by 6.25%. Such a small increase is unlikely to make a difference, especially since near the end of a Grace playthrough, you basically stop using guns entirely. They don't affect things like Molotovs or acid bottles. Add on that steroids also heal you, and the choice is obvious. Invest all your stonks in steroids. With that general advice out of the way, let's get into the actual playthrough. The first section with Leon is not particularly difficult, but there are a couple tricks you can take advantage of. Firstly, if you grab 2 credit tokens, both here and here, and maybe kill a zombie or 2, you can get 9,000 credits to upgrade the Requiem's damage, and don't forget to put a charm on it as well. If you do this, then these upgrades will transfer to Grace. It doesn't really make a huge difference, but every now and then, an enemy can barely live a Requiem shot, and this will basically just ensure that that doesn't happen. Also good to know, make sure you don't use any healing items during this section, as Leon heals for free between the cutscenes once it's over. But he doesn't repair his hatchet or reload his guns between the scenes, so make sure you have those all set up. Leon, you lazy bum. The very first girl encounter, you need to be fast, as she moves faster and can grab you almost immediately upon showing up. And once you have the screwdriver, baiting her around in a loop can be the best way to get past her in order to grab the fuse and get out of this first section. Just make sure you stop right here, because from my experience, the girl always doubles back when you run like this. I don't think there's a ton to say about the Leon Horde fight in the care center. Just try to line up the zombies the best you can so you can hit multiple with each Requiem shot, as that's the only real trick to this fight. Which, by the way, all of your Requiem ammo will disappear when he gives the gun to Grace, so don't conserve anything here. There are a couple ways to actually approach the soup section in the kitchen with the chef. Pushing the soup normally takes about twice as long on Insanity, but there's some alternative ways you can get by it quickly. First way is actually moving the soup backwards a bit. This will make the chef angry and he'll move over to it when you can then run past him. Another way is to actually let him see you and then stand right here. And for some reason, his AI will prompt him to push the soup towards you. I tried this 10 times and he did it every time, so it seems pretty consistent. There's also a speedrun trick of just running past him in first person, but it requires some pretty strict timing, so I don't expect most people to get this. Make sure you flip the light at the very end of the hall to bait the zombie out of the way. I actually didn't know this light was here for several playthroughs. I am not very observant sometimes. There's a ton of situations where whenever you enter a room for the first time, the zombies all behave in a sort of scripted manner. While they're doing the scripted behavior, they cannot see you and they won't chase you. So you can take advantage of this to grab items quickly. Once you've rooted through these rooms, you can break this box to bait the upstairs zombie to come down the stairs. You have to actually be pretty fast here for him to not see you, but it's more than doable. Using the same first time entry trick, you can easily get past the singer and the other zombies in the room to grab Grace's gun. Also give you access to the safe, which the code is on your screen now. After you get the gun and the safe open, you can wait for a good position and then just slowly run out of the room. Even if they see you at this point, it shouldn't be a big deal. This also works to get these items out of the office without fighting. And to get past the zombie at the end of the hallway. You can also do this to get the key card. Zombie takes a while to get off the ground, actually. Also a note on the antique coin vendors in this room. Obviously the inventory slots and the blood manual are the most important things. But the rip knife is pretty nice too. Once you get the second key card, it's a good time to save, because we're going to be doing something a bit risky here in a moment. Once you get to the examination room, you can open the safe, and then just kill this zombie outright with your handgun. Just keep peppering him with bullets, don't let him get close. After that, use the light switches to bait the light zombie out of the way. And then a big old group is going to come around the corner. Hug the left wall so you're angled appropriately, and then do a good old 3-for-1 with your starting Requiem shot. This isn't too hard to do, and it makes things so much easier. But if you do miss, just reload and try again. This is why we saved. After that, it's Fat Boy Chunk time. I don't really find Chunk to be too big of a deal. He's pretty easy to avoid. Also, you can use him to kill both the light zombie and the maid if you bait them in front of him. But if you just really dislike him, you can use an empty bottle to kill him, much like this. I think everybody's seen this trick at this point. Don't forget to go by the blood lab and get your blood collector and samples, by the way. There's also a really tough zombie in the closet. This guy has so much health. I just ended up stunning him and using a hemo injector on him. He is way more trouble than he's worth.
A few moments later.
The waiting room closet has the pantry key and a rip knife, by the way, and this is pretty important. Save a hemo injector to take out the chef, as you'll get 2 antique coins for this, and then you can open the pantry.
Oh no!
They turned the pantry into a bit of a trap, though, but there is a lot of loot in there, so it is worth dealing with. How you deal with it is up to you. Next stop is the parking garage past the kitchen. Make sure to grab the wrench on your way over, too. There's also a little twist once the giant forklift comes out that you might not see coming, so be on your guard. The code to open the organ box is the exact same as lower difficulties, by the way, so you can just cheese this. Next, use the wrench to get in the freezer. And we have both of the organs we need after that. Take it to the dead body. Of course, the body will get up, but you do not actually have to waste any resources on this. Just keep backing up, and it will die completely on its own. Hopefully you do a bit better than me getting hit here. Oops. Now at this point, you may be wondering, Eriku, this is all going a bit fast. Aren't we forgetting something? Well, yes. I am assuming you're going and grabbing any optional items that will help you out. But there's also the encounter with the singer upstairs. We are skipping this entirely. The trick is you can come back here with Leon and completely trivialize this encounter. This is one of the hardest parts for Grace herself. So just letting Leon do it is pretty nice. You can then grab the dissolvent and final cube way later after you finish the basement. Also a quick note on blister heads that are going to start appearing at this point. Either avoid them completely or use the Requiem on them. Any other way of dealing with them is just not worth the time and risk. Now it's time to show how Grace is the best babysitter ever and take the child into a very dangerous situation to read 3 buttons with Braille on them? Grace, baby doll, come on, you could have brute forced this. Anyway, you'll be attacked by 4 zombies as you wait on Emily to solve the problem. The one in the suit feels particularly fast, so I usually Requiem him. And if you really need help, you can use the window, since zombies climb through windows pretty slowly. But this encounter generally isn't too tough. Save beforehand if you're worried. After that, Grace will do her best James Sunderland impression and jump into a hole. Now we have the Leon part of this. But first we have to fight Chunk 2 Electric Boogaloo. Just keep moving, make sure you purchased a shotgun before this. He can be pretty tough and pretty fast, but using the doorways to get some free damage as well as the ledges will do a lot. After that, make absolutely sure you go and deal with the singer while you're here, and then deal with the blister head encounter up in Victor's office. This whole part is pretty cathartic after everything we just went through, so enjoy it. Now things are going to get a bit tougher as we enter the basement. A good thing to know is that most of the corpses do get up eventually, so pre-destroying them with hemo injectors can be a pretty smart thing to do. Also, do not even try to stun the girl, even with infinite ammo. It's not going to work out well for you. If the girl becomes a problem, either hide or run to a light source. Honestly, while the basement is a pretty tough section, it's also pretty straightforward if you remember the progression of it. But there are still a couple problem points that are noticeably more difficult on Insanity I want to go over. After the first cutscene, you can completely avoid the girl by hiding in this cell room, directly to the side of where you get the battery. There's also this part where you get the tool, and the girl shows up behind you. The way I reliably get past this is I throw a bottle at her, and then run around as she's angry chasing me. It's a bit tricky to get out of here because she constantly tries to flank you, no matter which way you go, but the bottle seems to get her attention pretty well. And finally, here it is. It all comes down to this, what I consider the most difficult part of the entire game. At least if you're unprepared. The meat grinder. Make absolutely sure you save before this part. What we're using here is the handgun and the Molotov that you can find in the same room. You want to aim for the zombie's legs and do your absolute best to stay away from them. Something that helps tremendously in this section is remembering which zombies get up, because it is the same ones every time. Start shooting them immediately upon seeing them. This one is the first problem point, and then one does jump you from behind. I messed up slightly here. Just keep staying away from them, and if you get multiple, throw the Molotov. The Molotov is a godsend. Honestly, if you can bring a second one to this fight, do so. You have to be fast and really get those legs as quickly as possible. Sometimes you'll get lucky and the meat grinder will get the zombies before they even attack you, but this doesn't happen often. This fat zombie here is the final obstacle. Do your best to put him down. Then once he's down, it should be almost over.
Nice.
And we've won! Don't feel bad if this part takes you a few tries. Just remember which zombies get up, and you will absolutely get it. Make sure to save as soon as possible after finishing that part, because you do not want to do it a second time. Then you're pretty much home free from the basement, and Grace's section in general, for the most part. Rush to the elevator as soon as you get Emily. Not stop for anything, and you can just barely squeeze out being able to close the doors before anything happens. Don't forget, since Leon did kill the singer for us, we do have to make a side stop to go pick up the dissolvent and to open the puzzle box in Gideon's office. But everything should still be dead from Leon's rampage, so don't worry too much. Also, the underground lab after this is kind of a complete joke. Just remember to use the poison fire extinguishers. Nothing bad ever happens in underground secret labs in this series. I do find the sniper section to be kind of difficult because they throw a blister head and a zombie at you while you're trying to help Grace. Stay on your toes and swap between stunning them with your shotgun and shooting enemies off Grace. And do not shoot this gas can until the chef zombie comes, and you should be okay. After that,
Yoink!
that's basically it. The final fight isn't really any different on Insanity, and they even give you 5 Requiem bullets before it starts, which should be more than enough to stun the girl as much as you need. Also remember, you don't actually have to shoot her when she's melting. You can just leave. We wouldn't want to hit her vitals after all. Eh? I truly hope this Insanity guide helped you with your own run. Remember to leave me a comment with any criticism, or if there's any other part of the game you would like me to cover. Or if there's anything I missed even. Maybe I'll go over Leon's half of the game next. Honestly, this guide was a much bigger undertaking than I thought it would be. So just sharing this with someone who you think it might help would really mean the world to me. I want to help as many people as I can with this awesome game. But for now, everybody, remember to take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and don't take anything for granted.